Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I need to talk about the massive civil war going down in the Marvel Rivals community, and I do feel like this could potentially hurt the player base long term if we don't kind of get it under control, because players will move on if they feel like the community in general is being toxic, and that's something I've seen across other games. And I also think there is more nuance to this situation than some players are given credit for. Anyway, it all started when a Spider-Man main, who's also a content creator, named Necros, essentially said that strategist was the easiest role to play mechanically, but then he kind of went deeper into it and started insulting strategists as well, and I just think that kind of devalued his whole argument. I don't necessarily disagree that some of the duelist characters are a little bit more mechanically intense when it comes to performing combos and setting up their cooldowns and all that kind of good stuff in order to maximize their kit. However, that's also really only true for the top 1% of the player base. For the majority, I feel like strategist is the most difficult role for a couple reasons. One, the team is wholly reliant on the strategist keeping you alive and being a good support player, not only healing, doing damage, debuffing, all that kind of good stuff. And I do feel like there's a lot more to think about when it comes to be a strategist player compared to duelist. Vanguard also is a bit tricky with that because you have to learn when and how to take space, all that kind of good stuff. So I do think ultimately there is challenges from every role, and that's something that I don't like when a player who only mains one role discredits the others, because they're all important in their own right. Now, when it comes to understanding how the game is played, strategists also have to juggle a lot more things, especially players who play more thought-intensive characters like a Mantis, understanding when to buff, when to heal. Same thing with Loki, when to pop your cooldowns, especially now that he's gotten some nerfs. He's still very good, obviously, but some of the strategists do take a little bit more thought and effort when it comes to learning how to play them. Characters who are easier, like a Cloak and Dagger, have been nerfed. And this is part of the conversation that I think people are starting to forget, in that when you are going from bronze to platinum, a lot of times you'll have to fill roles, otherwise there won't be enough players in every role in order to make progress. You can't win a game with no strategist. So ultimately, if you are playing and you are making progress through the ranks, if you don't have a strategist, you'll have to fill, or someone on your team will have to fill, even if that's not their main. Everyone wants the main duelist. It is the most fun of the various roles, in my opinion. For the vast majority, I prefer Vanguard just because I do like frontlining a lot more. However, I understand that for the majority, duelist is the more enjoyable experience overall, and support is not quite as fun unless you're playing a Mantis or somebody who can be very aggressive. It can be very, very frustrating to essentially have to try to heal bot, otherwise you get yelled at by your teammates saying that support diff and bad supports, all that kind of good stuff, whether you main strategist or not. And that's something that driving away the strategist, I think, is not going to be the call ever, because we absolutely need them. You can get by having one Vanguard on the squad. You cannot get by in ranked on almost any game having only one strategist. And I know there's some certain comps that you can do it, but it's ultra rare, requires a lot of communication, and is not going to happen when you're playing with randoms. And that's why I think that being so harsh to strategists is very obnoxious. I don't like when people, like I said, put down other roles, especially when they don't play those roles all that often, because it does come across as quite condescending. Now, as far as the strategist strike that we're seeing, I feel like that's a little bit silly as well. You should never let somebody else's opinion of the game and them being a jerk affect you and your gameplay. If you enjoy playing strategists, strategist the most, then you should absolutely continue to play it. I do think that this season's meta kind of makes it more frustrating to play strategist as well, simply because dive, especially when you're playing with randoms who will not peel for you, can be a very annoying experience, because not only are you getting dove and having to fend off whatever characters are dropping in on you. You've got Captain America jumping in, you've got a Spider-Man, a Magic, or someone like that. But you also will get yelled at if you don't heal your team often enough, even though they are refusing to peel for you, and you are having to both heal and do damage, get the kill, or at least delay the characters who are attacking you as long as possible. And that's really where I feel like that combination of the strategist feeling disrespected because people are not only not really being supportive of strategists, but also being outright negative to them, not only on social media, but also in comms. You also have them being frustrated because they're constantly getting dove and not really able to play the game. Yeah, at times Marvel Rivals has been a bit too easy for them, essentially just able to heal bot permanently. But I also think there is a bit more balance, and I do hope we get more anti-dive characters to help out the strategist as well. Maybe a character like Ultron will help out, as he's able to fly around and not get dove, although Iron Fist will probably torment him quite a bit. But also, with the new performance-based ranking system for ranked play, it hurts those strategists who are not just heal botting. Your assists don't really count as much in that formula, it seems, and also it is much harder to gain positive ranked points more than the normal if you are playing characters who are not essentially stat padders. And that's really where it becomes even more frustrating. And I think the combination of all of that is what's led to the situation we have in the game right now, with strategists being frustrated. If it was just one of these three, I think we would probably be fine. I don't think the backlash to Necros would have been nearly as high had strategist been in a place where a lot of players can really enjoy it and not feel frustrated during each and every game. But that's why I think situations need to be looked at in total and not just at that specific time frame. I do feel like players, especially Spider-Man players, are some of the more annoying to play with, whether they're good or bad. And so because of that, they're going to not get the benefit of the doubt with regards to the wider community. And I think being outwardly negative towards strategist players is just going to lead to less of them playing, which is going to make the life of the duelists who are complaining that much more frustrating. So I'm mostly on the side of strategists here. As a Vanguard main, I do very much appreciate my strategists who are healing me consistently and allowing me to pop off at times. I do hope this situation resolves itself sooner rather than later. I find it a little bit silly, but I also understand why strategist is just plain not fun this season, and people being jerks about it exacerbates the issue. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you feel like this is a frustrating season for strategists in general? Do you think it'll get fixed? I do hope we get some more anti-dive characters in the future, because I think that would kind of help balance the scales quite a bit more. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video as always. Comment, subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.